Hi there, good afternoon. Steve and Ollie with you today, and we're going to be running through a topic that we've posted about in a blog earlier this week. It's something that's we're finding is more prevalent with the customers around pricing and how we can manage or help you manage your pricing better and make you aware about what kind of discounts and stuff that you're offering to customers in light of recent cost price increases. I understand today there's actually been another one from Val, so there'll be a new file released in due course from our data team if you've not had it already, with new RRPs and new trade prices, etc. So what I wrote about in the blog was really about just making sure that you guys have got the right pricing model for your business and for the people who are using it. The setup, just being aware of the setup that you've got and what the kind of implications are of that. So without going into, I suppose, too much detail today, it's really a kind of, I suppose, an information session, just quite brief. Just the areas you guys, I think, and as a team, we think you should be looking at, and I suppose just a dip into those in terms of some pointers for you. So I'll switch onto Prima screen and we can get going. Okay, so for those of you who've been using Prima for a while, and for those of you who are new to it, we've got our wholesaler catalogues that are in the system, and within those wholesaler catalogues, depending on who it is, Vow and Spices, Trueline, if you're a Trueline customer as well, you will have a list of letter bands, and they associate to a group of products that you would give traditionally a discount from the catalogue's retail price. Okay. On the back of that, offering that discount, then Prima would pick that up in the sales order, in the quote, and then also on the web store the customer would see those discounts if you wanted it to. In the last, I suppose, 2 months, we've seen prices go up upward of 10% on the cost prices, and having this RRP discount structure means the margin is instantly being eaten into as part of these cost price increases, because you're still offering the same discount off the RRP. So we don't want to kind of be too preachy about it and tell you I suppose tell you what to do. It's more just make you aware of, are you on top of this with each catalogue import, and there is an alternative if you wish to switch, or you can have a mix between just RRP and cost margin bands. You can chop and change. So I'll dip into the catalogues here so you can have a look. So if I just jump into the catalogue items here, I'm looking in the Vow catalogue, and if I just bring back the catalogue items, maybe about 20,000 or so. So this Vow catalogue, what you have is, and this, for those of you who've done the catalogue import before, you'll see the letter bands, and they'll make sense to you. Okay, so this info 4 column here, that basically says to you as a user, that's what Vow or Spices use the same column as well. That's what letter band they're associating that product with. And then the traditional way of doing it is you create a band in the admin area with the same letter, and then you, via the publication grid manager, update the items in the catalogue to match the pricing band that you've created. So Vow are saying, for example, it's an F item, and then in the pricing bands you will have an F item. Okay, and then you would add the F items to that band, and then that band will then be associated with customer accounts and the various discounts that you have. Okay, so with each, if you do wish to continue with the discount from RRP model, we really strongly kind of insist that as part of the catalog import process, this section is being updated. What you can do is we've recently put in the admin area an auto mapping section, so you can do it manually via the publications grid manager, and you can go in and find all the items in a particular catalog by the band letter. If I just show you that quickly, so I can look, for example, in the val file, find my A items, search, and there's 90 records, and then I can just add those to my relevant band, for example, and I will use in a val catalog and a Spicer band here, but the name is kind of arbitrary. It doesn't really matter. It's the band is whatever you want to call it. So I would do that and apply, and then just repeat the process. So from a manual point of view, anyone who's responsible for importing the catalogs, please make sure that you are doing this process each time. Okay. In the admin area, I've got my pricing bands, and these are the ones that I've created. So you can have as many as you want in here. Some of our customers would group A, B and C items together and just have one band. We, I suppose, advocate against that really, because certainly in light of the cost price increases, there's much more, I suppose you need more control than that to just group three sections of products, and we've created a tool for our customers, and I'll show you that shortly, to just help you identify what's in each band. But what we've also done is to kind of take the manual process away of the bands. Is at the bottom section of this general admin area, there's a catalog mappings, and essentially what it means is, whenever you import a new file, take the letter from that info4 column and match it to a particular pricing band that you've got set up in the system. Okay, so it's a one-time setup, and we've got some help instructions regarding this catalog mapping, so we can publish that as well. But essentially, if I open this band, it'll show me the mapping. So I choose my type, which is from which catalog where they offer the actual banding process, who's the supplier, what letter am I discussing in or wanting to change in here each time, and what pricing band that I've created do I want this letter to map to. So each time the catalog's imported, I will always be going into my val band A items. And like I say, in light of these cost price increases, if you are continuing with the discount model, please consider this at least, so you are maintaining the latest letters associated with your bands. And even if you do group letters into the same band, you can just associate a letter and map it to your QConnect band, or whatever it may be called. But yeah, so seriously consider this if you are looking to continue with the discount side of things. Okay, so that's the mapping area. Just coming back to the pricing bands, the other option you've got in here is, you'll see there's some of the denoted by a D and some are via an M, and that's like a cost margin band. Okay, so as you can see here as an example, we've created some bands for EOS toners and compats, where it would be a margin based band. So we want to track the landed cost and update the sell price based on the cost. Okay, so what we wrote about in the blog was, we're seeing more and more customers having this approach to the pricing across the board. So not just for the kind of compatibles where the pricing is quite volatile, also the other bands for the kind of fast moving Q or 5-star lines as well. So I suppose what we need to show you and what we need to help you with is, if you guys are not comfortable doing it yourself, having a way of identifying, okay, we're currently offering 70% discount from band A. What does that mean in terms of a margin? So how am I going to move from switching these bands from discount based to margin based and still maintaining my competitivity and not switching your customers' pricing so it's kind of way out. So in terms of changing the band, it's literally the case of coming in here and double clicking on the band and choosing the band type to be margin based, and save and close. And from a kind of functional setup, that's all it is. Obviously, like I just said, you need to be able to then go into your customer accounts and assign the relevant margin, at least in the first instance, so you're maintaining somewhere in the region of what you are with your discounts now. So we had a talk about it internally, and we've created, it's very basic, but I think it will help and just give you an idea of what you're looking at. This sheet here, this margin calculator sheet. So what it is, as an example here, based on what we can, it's basically a linked spreadsheet. So if you come to us, if you're watching this session now and you come to us and say, I'd really like to use this sheet, that's fine. Just drop us a line and we'll just hook it up to your system. And essentially what it is, you look at the discounts that you're currently offering or considering offering via the letter bands that you've got created. So what we're talking about here is that manufacturer info 4 column, A, B, C, D, etc. And then you choose a catalogue. So I'm looking here at the VAL file, and it says I've just filtered it for band A just so the sheet's a bit smaller, where I'm offering a 70% discount from the catalogue's RRP. At present, this is my margin. Okay, so what we want to do with this is just highlight to the customers that there is an opportunity here for you to make the change, but be aware of what kind of pricing you need to be looking at in terms of the margins to be assigning to the customer accounts. So when you switch it over, you can be in the ballpark. But just as an example here, we're looking at some cost prices on a database here, and we're looking at band A items in this VAL catalogue, and at some items in the same band where they're calling it band A, there's a 25% margin, and some of them are up past 75%. So even within the same band, the information that kind of you're getting from the supplier, it's not black and white in terms of you need to be giving X amount % on this, because there's a lot of different items in there where that doesn't apply. So it might be the case that you want to remove some of these items from the band, and you can just do that within the catalogue item, just set it back to default. So like I say, if anyone wants this, just drop our customer service team an email or give the office a call, and we can send you out a copy. But I do think it will be a useful tool for you to work with that information, and then on the back of that you can use the where are we, in the company grid manager. You can then reassign your bands to your customer accounts based on the margin that you want to achieve. So if I look at all my customers in here, there's probably quite a few in this database. Okay, so if I go to the change tab and I go top right here, update the band, and then I can put, once you've switched your band over to a margin based, choose the band you want, and it'll say an M in there, and then you give your margin percentage there and apply, and it will update all those customer accounts that you want to work with. Okay, so it's just, I guess I suppose we have a concern and an obligation to let our customers know. We're seeing the pressure it's putting on customers, and we're certainly seeing more pricing queries come through the customer service desk, and I suppose asking for help, and then this really is a response to that. The development team have already committed to put in some more more updates in the grid manager as well, so some tools to help you with such a switch. So we'll be seeing those in the coming updates. Just finally, I wanted to just touch on the contract side of things, because this is also affected. So what we see a lot of the time is our customers, I suppose for ease of use on the system, add things to customers' contracts with the basis that the customer's just going to pay that price the next time. And in light of all these cost price increases, if those contracts are not kind of reviewed regularly or kept on top of, if you like, we see a lot of customers where there's minus margins and shrinking margins showing in the contracts. So it's really, if you don't review your contracts very often, it'd be worth certainly in the coming weeks and months just going through those customer contracts and just looking. You've got a margin and markup column here, and you can sort on that to see where the lines are. And you might find if you've added a KF24001 net price 2 years ago, the margin that you were making will be significantly decreased to what it is now. So it's just, can you replace those items with something for a better margin? Can you go back and go to your customers and say, look, we need to have a discussion on some of these frequently purchased items, or go down the route of you've got that kind of net price or margin option within the contract line as well, so you can switch it to a margin based, and you can define a percentage that you want to make. So you've got the cost margin calculator in here as well if you wanted to use that. I can say I want to make 15% all the time on that line. Okay. Exporting the contract and re-importing allows you to do that en masse if you wanted to change the pricing types and things. But it's just that process of just adding it for the sake of the customer gets it next time, the same price. We're seeing that it's not really viable. And I know you have loss leaders and things within the contract, but for the sake of just doing it so they have it the next time, it's potentially not good for your business. So there's quite a lot in here, but I wanted to keep it quite brief, and it's just really pointing out some areas for you guys to have a check. And if the team who are using these features are kind of not really understanding what it is that they're doing, then let us know, and a few brief training sessions we can sort that out, because pricing is key to how Prima works, and if the team who are using it don't know how it works, then there's potentially some issues there. So like I say, anyone who wants that sheet, you can either comment in the YouTube here now, and we'll make sure you get it as soon as possible, or alternatively you can give the office a call or drop the support email a link, and we'll send it back. But just a bit of information today, and hopefully you can see the relevance of it for your business and the importance of making sure you know what you're doing. Okay, well that's it for me today, and one of us will speak to you guys next week. Okay, cheers, thank you.